It was great, but how much did the Giants want Devonta Smith? Really badly?
I think they wanted him pretty badly. Yeah, I think they targeted him the entire way. It was kind of between. They liked Waddle and Smith both, and they felt that I mean, really the linchpin of the whole thing was they thought 4 quarterbacks were to go, before they went to them, but that ended up not happening.
Denver.
And because of that.
What's up, people? Monday morning. Not football season, but still good Monday. Sixers won last night, even though that game didn't have to be what it was. I'm just going to speak on the draft a little bit. I did not make one right away from day 2 and day 3 because I wanted to do a little bit of research on these guys. I'd be lying to you if I was to sit up here and act like I knew who all these guys were. I absolutely did not. Obviously, the 2 kids from Alabama, the first 2 picks, I was more familiar with them. Devonta Smith, absolutely. If you watch college football, there's no way you don't know about him. And I already made my last video telling you, I had no problem with that pick. I expect him to be good. Like 2 videos ago, I was a little skeptical. I didn't really want Devonta Smith because I was a little turned off by his size. You know what I mean? But then I had to really do some thinking. I had to really do some thinking about going into the archives of football and wide receivers and really look for comps, and I had to come to the conclusion that, his size really probably more than likely isn't as big a deal as I initially thought when I was scared off prior to the draft. You know what I mean? When you really look back, man, to the era that I feel boasted probably the greatest wide receivers ever, which I think is that late 90s, early 2000s era, when you had this explosion of guys like Andre Rison, guys like Marvin Harrison, of course the greatest show on turf, the Rams, who had 2 small guys, man, Holt and Bruce. You really think about Devonta Smith actually is in the mold of those guys. Those crisp, smooth route runners, excellent hands, guys being, where they're supposed to be at all times and all of that good stuff. He's really one of those guys. And so when I really think back on it, he probably was definitely the right pick. And we just hope that thing pans out, man. He really has a chance to be the best receiver in this particular class. He really does. And he has a chance to start right away and be I had to move some stuff off of the lens. I'm sorry, you know what I mean. So I had no problem with that pick, as I said. The Landon Dickinson pick, let me tell you like this. I love the player himself. His skill set, size. The dude is a mauler when I see him on tape. Problem is, dude had 2 ACLs, some ankle problems, and I don't know if we had to take him as early as we did. I mean, I have no idea. Sometimes I guess these GMs talk to other GMs, so the Eagles, maybe they had some type of insight or a fear based off of some knowledge that some other teams might grab him. I don't know. Hopefully they really talk to some doctors about his situation because, like, dude, when you think about the year we had last year, and to me, I sum our year up, really, the failure that our year was from injuries, honestly. I don't believe it was Doug being an idiot all of a sudden. I don't believe it was just, just Carson Wentz just being trashed somewhere. It was more so started with the injuries. And then the other things just kind of trickled down from there. That's just clearly the way I saw last year, right? So, to grab a guy like Landon Dickinson, man, who can come in and, like, I don't know. I'm already afraid about Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks. These guys getting re-injured. I'm always worried about Kelsey because he's just, Though he's pretty durable, he's not the biggest guy. Dillard was out all year. Like, the whole line was injured last year. Like, everybody, except Kelsey. So to bring in a guy that the least is I'm going to be as fearful of him getting hurt as I am of the rest of those guys. I don't know about that one, man. That remains to be seen. But as far as the talent of the player, he's great. If he stays healthy, man, you have a chance to building the start of what could be an elite line, offensive line again. That can happen, if this guy stays healthy, right? So, I mean, I'm kind of torn with that pick. We'll just have to see. The cornerback we got. Well, first we go with the defensive tackle, Williams. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. And people are talking comps to Aaron Donald. Like, come on, man. If scouts had one inkling that this dude could be an Aaron Donald, he would have went in top 10. If they just had one inkling, right, that he might possibly be that. You know what I mean? All these guys, we could just come up with these comps and maybe they'll do this, maybe they'll do that. I'm not putting that on the dude. Like, personally, I don't know why the hell the Eagles keep taking defensive tackles, right? Even if you like the line, okay, but you just keep taking defensive tackles. You already have so much money tied into it. Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, right? You got both of these guys getting serious money, and then they grab like 2 linemen here. You still got Ridgeway. He might be on the end. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Why they really believe that their Super Bowl came from that. No, that was part of your Super Bowl year, but that wasn't your whole Super Bowl year, right? I mean, like, they just, come on, dude. Like, that, what you gonna have? I guess they want the 8-man front and to keep switching out. Like, I thought that was a Jim Schwartz thing. Like, where are you forcing the next guy to follow Jim Schwartz's thing? Like, what are they, like, that I don't get. Like, when you have a new defensive coordinator, the guy Jonathan Gannon, he should come with his own thing. It looks like Howie Roseman wants him to do what Jim Schwartz did, which is have these 8 linemen that are just constantly rotating. I hope that ain't what it is. If so, like, dude, I don't know, man. And then I saw a clip where they were in the room, in the boardroom, the draft room, and some of the scouts didn't want him. They wanted to take a corner there, right? That's really my thing, man. Like, there was a lot of corners on the board still that we were just not taking in order to take this guy, right? See, that's my thing. Though I understand you want to build from there, corner is important, right? Though you did win a Super Bowl, you still gave up damn near 600 yards through the air. You gave up over 5 through the air, 6, with the ground too, but you gave up over 500 yards through the air. So you could have easily lost that damn Super Bowl, and you got 1 sack in the whole damn game. So let's not act like really that line really did it for you in the Super Bowl. That's just a little misnomer put forth by Howie, or Howie's just not really looking closely. If you would have had a better secondary, you actually probably wouldn't have had the high scoring game that you had. So I would say, while I believe that the line is important, you equally have to put emphasis on the secondary. You got Darius Slay. I mean, who we gonna roll out there? We still rolling Devonta Maddox out there? Number one, Devonta Maddox ain't that damn great a cover corner. Then number 2, like, how do you know he's even going to stay healthy? Like, these are issues, man. This safety, I don't see how safety got help. It got a lot better. Like, McLeod is already mediocre, and then you added the guy from Minnesota. Like, dude, what? We don't go after the Jamal Adamses of the world. We don't even like try to take a chance on a Earl Thomas, who's older, but like he knows what he's doing. We just don't value these things. And if you want to talk about looking at our past to see what worked for us, what about Brian Dawkins? What about having an impact safety? How did that work for us? That did a lot for us, I think. How about Malcolm Jenkins? How about replacing him? He was a major part of the defense. He's just as important. Malcolm Jenkins was just as important as Brandon Graham's ass. So I don't understand why we're neglecting the secondary like that, man. You know, and I saw Howie in the press conference talking about, maybe he'll grab, free agents before the season. Man, I don't want to hear that, man. They had a lot of cornerbacks in this particular draft that he didn't go after. I'm not feeling it, man. And then other dudes, talking about, like, as they look at this draft, it's pretty good with I mean, listen, you could do that with anything, man. You could do that with anything. You can go and find the positives of any player and then just assume that the draft was good, right? It doesn't mean anything. We're not going to know until it happens. What I'm talking about is addressing certain needs. You do have to address needs, man. The only time I say you don't address a need is when there's players that are just so great, that you have to take them because they'll change the dynamic of your team, even if you have someone else at that same position. I don't know if this dude Williams is going to do that, this defensive tackle. Now, as far as the other linemen, look, when they start coming in the 5th and 6th round and all that, I don't know. All right, now for a second, this cornerback McPherson I'll talk about. Played for Texas Tech. He was initially recruited by Penn State. That's the most interesting thing about him to me. Penn State, they grab pretty decent corners. You know what I mean? They do in the Big Ten football. He obviously couldn't break into the starting lineup, which is not easy to do, though, because corner, that's really 3 positions. But he couldn't crack that. Okay, he goes to Texas Tech, and then he's probably their best corner out there. Okay, that's something. What is it? 4 interceptions, I believe. Nice little number of deflections. What I do like is he seems like a pretty decent athlete. 40-inch vertical, that's helpful and useful when dealing with long balls and stuff like that, if you could jump high. He's not a blazer with speed, but he's not probably as slow as a Rasul Douglas, for example. So with that, I expect, I don't know, man, maybe he can help with some depth. I don't even know if he'll beat out Avonte Maddox, you know what I mean, or even Roby Coleman. So I don't expect big things from that particular pickup, Zach McPherson. With some of these other guys, like I said, with some of the defensive ends and these guys, I don't know, man. I guess they're going to try to go with this 8-man rotation and keep. But I don't even know how they're going to sign all these dudes. So I'm expecting they're going to get rid of some people to try to free up some cap space. I don't know, man. But I say my overall grade for this draft somewhere about a C+, I think. About a C+, I guess. And it's mainly because of the first 2 Alabama guys. The rest of them guys, I don't know. Like, some people are higher on Williams than I am. I don't know. I still expect he's a guy that's going to get you about 5 sacks, man. Like, depends. Now, if the Eagles were creative with some of these guys and put them on the end, then I would feel better about that. Because I don't believe ends have to have blazing speed to get to the quarterback. I don't believe that. They just had to win their battles. They can use bull rushes, and different things like that. But I don't know, man. That's just, I guess that's pretty much what I got right there, man. I'm giving the draft about a C+. I think Devonta Smith has a chance to be excellent. The center, who I guess will replace Kelsey or play guard or whatever until Kelsey leaves, he has a chance to be excellent. It's just the health. Williams, I don't know, dude. It's a toss-up for me, really. And then the rest of the guys, McPherson, I think might make the team, but I got him being the guy from LSU, the safety. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about too. Forget his name. I remember him from watching LSU. Most of the scouts got him as being possibly a practice squad guy. Maybe he'll be a backup safety. I don't think he's not gonna beat out McLeod or Kevon Wallace, or I don't see him beating those guys out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And maybe they'll use him at linebacker. I don't know, man. So when I look at the overall roster, I suppose the defensive line, I think, will be strong again. We always have a pretty strong defensive line, right? Our linebacking core, it remains to be seen. I don't even know who's going to play. Like when a defensive coordinator comes in, what type of linebacker does he like? Is he going to go with Bradley? I would feel good if we went with Bradley, making him the middle linebacker. If we go with Kevon Wallace, I don't know about his. I like his speed and athleticism, right? But I don't know about his acumen. I don't know if he's going to beat out these guys we had at linebacker last year. You know, so I don't even know who's going to play, man. So I still have to give the linebacking core a pretty bad grade. They're like a D, you know, if that, you know. And then the secondary, man, besides Darius Slay and Rodney McLeod, who are kind of guys you can just count on. I mean, you know what they are. The rest is like question marks to me. Avonte Maddox is mediocre. And then I don't know if he's going to be healthy. The guy from Minnesota, I guess he's decent. And what it kind of indicates to me is that Gannon is going to try to build a defense similar to the Vikings defense. If he can accomplish that, that's good. But the Vikings defense, a big part of their defense was linebackers. So I'm interested in seeing what they do. And the form of defense they did in Indianapolis, you know, linebacker was very important, you know, but they didn't really go after any of them. So maybe they like Bradley and Wallace. Not Wallace, Bradley and Taylor, right? Maybe they like them. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. Till next time, man. I'm out of here.